Hello, everyone, and welcome to the recap. The recap is where I go over last game, what happened to all the players, what happened to the party. They were in a very dangerous situation. They went and started the trial. What does a trial entail? A trial entails 11 items that they must seek. Once they retrieve that item, whether it's the cross, for example, the vampire, the dragon queen, it's a little stone figurine of a dragon, mithril armor, a dangerous sword, stuff like that. For example, some of the items. Once you retrieve those items, then something will happen. It'll open up the trial. Now, what is a trial? What is the trial all about? The trial is basically the players, the party, once they have that item, just because they have it doesn't mean anything. They have to defeat whatever is in that particular trial. It could be mental, it could be physical, it could be combat oriented, whatever it is. They have to defeat, they have to win. And once they do that, then, only then will that item be theirs. Now, what is the significance of those items? What's the importance of those items? They haven't found that out yet. But last game, they have the first item, the cross, and they are going through one of the trials of the cross, which they found out is a little bit more or less mental, more of a thinking progression. Last game they went into a room with a chandelier. Mavic, played by George Christopher, had his special, he plays a gunslinger weapon, an old musket. He pulled out the musket, shot the chandelier, chandelier fell, shattered into the ground, and you figured, okay, well that started something. And they found treasure. They found a sword. The name of the sword is Vorgaph. Vorgaph, not the spelling of Gaff. It's Vorgaph. Vorgaph. Vorgaph is a sentient sword. Anytime you use it, Vorgaph has its own, mental fortitude. He pretty much tells you off. So you use a sword, he doesn't like you, he's going to tell you how it is. That's Vorgaph. And Eli, he plays Edward, the cleric, and he found Vorgaph, and Vorgaph is, and him kind of have this kingship. They kind of have this connection. He found the sword, and he went into the dungeon with his fellow mates, and they explored. Like I said, they found treasure and stuff. And when they found the sword, or Edward did, him and Vorgaph, they found kingship, friendship. They pretty much found this connection. Other characters, you have Colleen, who plays Eliza the rogue, and you have AJ, who plays Jaros, and Jaros and Eliza are really close, but they're not brother and sister, but they're very close, and they are part of the party, and they are like the backbone of the party. So last game, Eliza channels Tiamat, and she channeled Tiamat. Tiamat made herself known, and Edward channels Bahamut. He made himself known. So there was going to be a god battle between good and evil. But the vessels, according to lore in my world of Dominulus, the vessels, which is the players, even though they channel the gods, they control or they have one chance to pull him back, to say, you know what, I forego that channel. And that's what happened. Instead of both gods fighting, the evil and the good one, they controlled the situation, which was pretty smart. Also, there are consequences. Once you undergo this trial, there are massive consequences. So you have to be certain that you choose this path. And one party member says, okay, I'm going to go on this trial. And that's it. Only one of the party members says, let's go. And everybody who's present at the time will be teleported to that location in the trial. What do I mean by consequences? And it wasn't clear to the party, but I'm going to make it clear now. You have to have a fresh mind. You have to have conviction that you're going to do this trial. You have to be certain that you want to do it. And once you're certain and you have that conviction, you get transported to the trial because it's a big situation. What are these items' importance? They don't know that yet. They will find that out. And I'm not going to divulge that information here tonight. You guys are just going to have to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. So, what is Norget? He's that dwarf, a really good blacksmith. The best in Dominulus, supposedly. And he told them, he said, look guys, you're going to have to do this. And as Norget, the dwarf, went with the party, as they proceeded to move through the dungeons, Norget vanishes. Now remember, this is all happening in Alexander's mind. Alexander is played by Christian. And Alexander, and I'm going to reiterate this, a couple episodes ago, actually a multitude of episodes ago, Alexander was looking at the wall in the lower decks of the ship, and he was murmuring some things. Nobody was close enough, or they tried to decipher what he was saying, but something happened. And what happened was he was focused on the wall, and all of a sudden, certain party members, not all of them, were transported or teleported into this dungeon of some kind, or in this other location, which is in Alexander's mind, supposedly, from what they know so far. Norget is that piece of information that gives them what they want to know. And Norget is very informative, but he was helpful in battle for a couple scenes, and after that he vanished. They don't know why. So we're going to figure that out tomorrow night. But what else happened? Irena. Irena is the new NPC. She is quirky. Sort of the comedic portion of the story. She is not very intelligent. She is not, even though she looks like a fighter, she has armor, she has looks, long, reddish brown hair, green eyes, beautiful. But she's very, very, she's not very smart, but she's very outgoing. She's friendly, overly friendly sometimes. But she has this thing that kind of catches. You know, people like her or not, because she has this underlying ability where she messes up. She tries to strike an individual or a creature, and she drops her weapon, and things happen. She has this curse. It's an emerald that attaches itself to any weapon that she carries. If she doesn't have a weapon, it'll be on whatever she wears. Anyway, that emerald gives her youth. You take away that emerald from her, and she'll immediately age. And, you know, her face is wrinkled, or she's weak, decrepit, very old. So that emerald is what's keeping her alive. No one has really got into her story yet, and I hope they do, because her story is really fun. Irena is like I said, she's got this curse, and she's a comedic part of the story. I hope you guys enjoy that part of it. She is the new NPC. She met them in the dungeon. She forgot her backpack with all her items, and an episode later, she was eaten by the Tarrasque. Somehow she got out of that, and they saw her with all this slime on her armor. Her hair was down. You know, she didn't look very good, but she was downtrodden. But either way, everyone kind of said, okay, let's rejoin the party, and she did, and now she's doing her best to fight the fight with the party. And she's also part of the trial. Whether they like it or not, Irena is also part of the party now. Norget is gone, Irena's there. Now what happened to the other party members? Are they on the ship? Why do they keep vanishing left and right? Those are things that has not been addressed yet. Hasn't even been looked at. The party really didn't go in that direction. Because right now they're in a dungeon. They went into a room where there's two doors. One that has a crescent of an emblem, of a lion. A falcon. And the other door, they decided, well, let's go to the other door and forget the other one. But they did a perception check, and they went ahead and searched. And one door, one of the characters, one of the players, Edward, throws a rock, and the rock hits the wall, down the hall. It dropped. They heard it. It had some length, so they figured, okay, a long corridor, not a big deal. The next door, they did the same thing. Edward did the same thing. He threw a rock, and it was a little shorter. So he realized one pathway is shorter and the other pathway is longer. So what do? They all go down the longer pathway. And they found a room with a sentient armor. This armor was alive. And they battled it. There was 14 ghouls in there. Eli plays Edward. He summons or does a spell. What is it? Undead. Turn undead. Sorry. He does turn undead, and the ghouls go crazy. The ghouls, in fear, they're gone. Most of them, at least. So, but the armor is still attacking, and they get into a big battle. They defeat the armor, and they move on. And they move on. They found a portcullis, not porculus, a portcullis, and which is a gate. If I'm butchering the word, I'm sorry. It happens sometimes. So, anyways. George and I plays Mavic. He looked up portcullis, and he's like, "You butchered the name," and I did. So to continue on, they go beyond that room, and they realize there is another room with the gelatinous cube, and Edward gets stuck in it. He finds his way out. They kind of defeat the cube. And they found traps a few times. Yeah, a few traps they found. And one was disarmed, the other one wasn't. One of the players was hurt, but not bad enough. But they made it on. They're moving. They did good. So they went from one point to another, and they realized that the room that they found had 17 portraits. Out of the 17 portraits, 11 of them are of each item. You know, you have your vampire, you have your stake, you have your mithril armor, dangerous sword, the items that they have to find. The dragon queen, all portraits. They're all lined up on one side of the wall, the other side portraits. 17. And the amazing thing is, guys, that, let me check my levels. I gotta check my levels. Let me see if my chat's working. Hello, everyone. All right. Yes, it is. It is working. Great. I'm glad it's working. I had an issue with the chat a couple episodes ago, but now it's rectified. So they entered this room with the portraits, and that's where I left it off. But they're kind of trying to figure it out. What are these portraits? So you have 11 of the items they have to find, and the rest are portraits of them, the orphans. Some are, I'm not going to divulge tonight, but I will tell you that in tomorrow's episode if you chime in, because I did not mention that last episode, and I'm recapping what they saw through their eyes. I'm not gonna. I almost made a mistake and told you a little bit too much, but they saw the portraits and they were in awe. They're like, "What do they have to do? We have to check out this room," and they did it. Instead, they wanted to backtrack to the original room, the main room where they first entered with the 2 doors. They were going to backtrack. So that's what they're doing. Why are they backtracking? You all know that players do what they do. And that's the fun of role-playing, is they go from one room, they adventure, they search, they do their perception checks, they do whatever, history checks, whatever they need to do, check-wise, and they backtrack. And that's what they're doing. So, a massive dungeon, and they did the main room, they did the portrait room, that's 2, or entered slightly in the portrait room. So they did 3 rooms. 3 major rooms. And now they're going to go back to the first one. So we're going to see what happens there. Another thing I need to go over, Norget, a dwarf. Where does he come from? He didn't really divulge all that information. He did say that he comes from a flying city. And they didn't really get into where did he come from? Where is this dwarf from? Flying city. From my understanding, dwarves are in caves, underground, stuff like that. A flying city is unheard of. But that's what he said. And no one really approached him with, "Hey, let's have a little conversation here." And they didn't do that. But the mystery is he's a very good blacksmith and can make things that are not normal, something better, something special, something rare. That's what Norget can do. Now, you have Norget, you have Irena, 2 NPCs. You have Vorgaph, Vicentia Sword. Those are 3. And then you have Eliza, played by Colleen. Gerald, played by AJ. And you have Rizil, played by Andrew. And you have Alexander, played by Christian. You have Mavic, played by George Christopher. So you have all these player characters, and they are in a predicament in this dungeon, fighting for their lives because they don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know if they're going to make it. But the choices they make and the consequences of those choices is what's apparent, is what they have to choose. They have to choose right. Now, will they choose right? In this recap, I'm basically giving you a little information on what happened last game. They went into the dungeons, they got some treasure, they fought, they moved on, but the mystery is still there. What is the dwarf? Norget, he's a dwarf. He's a blacksmith. We all know this. They haven't answered or asked any questions pertaining to him. The portraits in the room that they found, 17 of them. What significance are those portraits? What are they? What are the things? Thank you, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, everyone watching tonight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys coming this fine evening. So what are those things? So those are the things that they have to look at. They have to go from one. They don't have to. They can do. See, I'm open-ended when I DM. I don't force anybody. I don't try to railroad anybody. So if they want to backtrack, they can go ahead and do that, and that's what they're doing. So they're backtracking. Is it the proper way of doing it? Who knows? They're the adventurers, and right now they have that item, the cross. What is the significance of the cross? The first item that they're going to trial for. Now, from this point on, they're going to meet new things, new trials, and it's going to get harder. The cross is just the beginning. The next one, in picking, doesn't matter what order. There isn't an order. You just pick what you want to do and where you want to go, and then you will be transported there somehow, some way. So now, guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to continue the story, episode 28, campaign 2. It's called the Kitsune. So, what does that have to do with anything? We'll see. Join us tomorrow night, and I'll let you know more. And the recaps are kind of short. I want to keep them short and snappy. I don't want to give you too much, but I want to tell you what happened briefly, what happened in the last episode. And hopefully this helped. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of the recap and so forth. Hey, I can take criticism. It's all good. Just let me know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later for DM talk. Good night.